Well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously a lot of stuff happening here today. Donald Trump officially inaugurated. It happened at around noon Eastern time, indoors, inside the Capitol. And I'm going to go through a bunch of different posts here on X, as well as possibly do another video exclusively talking about all the executive orders. There's rumors it's going to be 100 executive orders. Some people saying it's going to be 200 executive orders. Many of the rumors on the executive orders have already come out in regards to immigration, in regards to January 6th, things like that. How about this photo here? You've got Barron in the center. He's got the slick back look. You've got JD Vance there, and you've got Donald Trump himself. Pretty remarkable photo when it comes to that. And I even had to tweet about this. You can see it took all of 5 minutes into Trump's term to get visuals like this. And yes, we've got the visuals that came out. I mean, it was like Trump, everything happens like 12:20, and they've already got the crying immigrants standing at the border wall in tears. And we said this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen like 10 minutes after. It's like they had the videos ready. They had the videos scheduled. There's like, all right, he's, schedule this video for 12:15 for the crying lady. This is how crazy these people are. It says criminal aliens are in tears after learning their attempts to enter the country have been blocked by following Trump's shutdown of the CBP One app. And so he shut the app down. And there's another one of all these immigrants holding up their phones. The app, you can't even log into it. It has a presidential seal on it. It says shut down. It's kind of like what happened with TikTok, but then Trump brought TikTok back. And I didn't even talk about that. I did discuss that in a live stream, and it's a very complex thing. It's not black and white. But there's a lot of people arguing both sides of the whole TikTok thing. It's very interesting, but I don't want to talk about that right now. There's a lot of other stuff to get to. But yeah, so Trump immediately shuts down the immigration app, and they're very angry about it. Donald Trump to sign executive order today declaring that the United States recognizes only two genders, male and female. It's like it's almost unbelievable how obvious it is, or something like this. Male and female, who would have thought? And then they talk about sex versus gender in the comments. Liberals, that's what they always do. Of course, it's the same thing. You can see Trump officially declares two genders, male, female. You've got Jake Tapper here calling out Joe Biden. If you guys saw what Biden did this morning, how about waiting to the last millisecond so people really couldn't talk about it? The pardons of Dr. Fauci, a few others, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, all getting pardons dating back to 2014. His entire family getting pardons dating back to 2014. It's so hilarious because it's like, because this is the thing, we're going to do the merry-go-round with liberals to where they're like, well, Trump is such a horrible tyrant. He's going to jail them for nothing. So these are all innocent angels. But Biden has to pardon them because Trump's just so evil and he's going to put them in jail for nothing. Kind of like how they elevated misdemeanor charges and gave Trump a felony just because they didn't like him and it was political lawfare. So you see how just the hypocrisy is so crazy. But Jake Tapper is calling out Biden for the preemptive pardons when there was rumors back when Trump was a lame duck in 2020 that Trump was going to put out preemptive pardons for certain family members. Biden says it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. And so Biden does exactly the thing he railed against. And of course, what Biden is going to say, well, Trump's a big bad villain who's going to jail us for nothing. Dr. Fauci and we're all innocent angels. That's why we had to pardon ourselves back to 2014 and Biden pardoned everyone. I don't think Biden pardoned himself, but I'm sure Trump probably will do that as a show of grace. That would be my guess, and just trying to move the country forward. But who knows? I mean, listen, Trump's going to be very angry at this point when it comes to everything that happened to him. All of the lawfare, the assassination attempts, the lack of Secret Service with security at that rally, another assassination attempt, all the liberals hoping he died. I mean, outside Trump is a very normal thing to feel angry, and he has a right to be very angry at many of these people. And then on top of that, they say Trump is going to put us in jail. We didn't do anything. But yes, we did elevate 34 misdemeanor counts to felony charges because we don't like Trump. And Alvin Bragg campaigned on holding everyone accountable and hinting that Trump's this big bad guy and we're going to get the Trump family. And it's a new liberal cesspool, New York City, and the precinct is like 95% liberal. And the jury selection's 95%. It's just crazy. It's absurd. And then they say, we're all such angels, but we have to pardon ourselves because Trump's going to put us in prison for breathing air. Of course, it's nothing we did, but we do have to pardon back to 2014. I don't know why that would, like with Dr. Fauci, why do you have to pardon him back to 2014? Why do you have to pardon him at all? Because Trump's a big, bad, evil villain. And remember, Trump said he was going to put Hillary in jail and then didn't go after her in 2017 after he got into office because he wanted to move the country forward. So they're using this as an excuse because they know Fauci's committed horrible crimes, and so have all the others, and Liz Cheney with the sham hearings and everything like that. And so they're like, we're just going to pardon all these people and then blame Trump for it. It's so crazy. But there it is right there. Migrants are now crying, and that's going to be used against Trump, of course. Joe Biden pardoning the entire family. You can see, and it goes back to January 1st of 2014, so the start of 2014. It goes back to, you've got Donald Trump putting out an inspiring message here with his brand new account. Donald Trump joined January 2025, the presidential account. Now, normally how these worked with old Twitter, it was the same account, but it just got passed to the new president. Well, now it looks like Musk is doing something different to where every president gets their own personal president account. So this is not Trump's personal account on X. This is the presidential account that was just created. And you can see Trump's brand new headshot, which was taken a few days ago, joined January of 2025, and he's got 2 posts. One of them's a retweet. So, yeah, that's his account now. You can see that. You've got John Fetterman. Put some pants on, bro. I know Republicans like John Fetterman, whatever. I don't really have an opinion on him, but it's like, put some pants on, brother. Come on. And then you've got Eric Trump. Oh, yeah, so another thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Greenland thing. We really thought he was going to mention Greenland. People are saying it's a negotiating tactic. He did say he wanted a territorial expansion during the speech, and that's what he's probably regarding to. Maybe not give Greenland any leverage by saying that in a speech, show your hand. But he did talk about the Panama Canal, and he said that, and he made a point that the United States, based off of us building the canal, us operating the canal, we should have control of the canal back. He spent about 30 seconds talking about it. So, and by the way, when it comes to the canal versus Greenland, and this is what people have to understand, Greenland, I imagine Greenland would be easier to get than the canal, just based off of the 2 situations. In terms of Greenland being owned by Denmark, trying to get out of that, and then still needing financial support from someone, as opposed to just Panama, they're really reliant on that canal. So that it's kind of surprising me, the dynamic of him talking about the canal but not talking about Greenland. But maybe it is something to do with negotiations and things like that. You would be negotiating to get Greenland. Panama, it might be a little bit different in terms of taking over the canal, possibly with some type of force. I'm not too sure on that yet, but yeah, so yeah, I thought Trump's speech was very, very good, and obviously there's going to be a bunch of executive orders. Now we've got Trump signing executive orders potentially today in front of a crowd at Capital One Arena, like 20,000 supporters with the inauguration happening inside. They've got some of the supporters in the arena now. Unfortunately, we would love to see it outside. It was very windy, but obviously we do think a lot of that was also due to the safety concerns and why risk it. And so I thought Trump gave a very good speech. And the things we're hearing now, he said he's going to declassify the files regarding MLK and also JFK, and we would also like to see the 9/11 files as well. So we're moving in a good direction. We've also got Trump coming out, and his immigration team has said they're going to start doing the raids on the big cities, multiple big cities, not just Chicago, starting tomorrow. So that's coming, and we'll see how well that goes. Things are looking up right now when it comes to what Trump is doing. I do think this administration is going to move a lot faster than his first one. It's night and day just in terms of having 4 years of experience in DC, understanding how things run, understanding how they operate. You've been able to de-rhino the Congress to at least a little bit of a degree, especially with his internal cabinet is basically now handpicked his type of people who want to implement his movement and his style of leadership. So it does feel like a faster, more just like upgraded version of the Trump administration, which is what it should be. I mean, you get 4 years of experience, I would imagine you're going to be a lot better at being president. And so that's what it's looking like. That's the vibe we're getting. Things are going to move very, very quickly, it seems like, with all of these executive orders coming into play. And it does seem like Trump is, Trump's even said some certain things that I didn't think he would say when it comes to some of the Middle East situations with Israel, although who knows, we know that's a different type of thing in terms of the amount of money involved in there and the lobbying that's done. But listen, I'm optimistic on Trump for sure, and I think a lot of what he's doing right now is what we expected. But you know what? We're very happy it's being implemented, and the raids happening with immigration, and we will see how the it is a very complicated thing. Things just don't pass automatically. It takes time to do things like the deportations are going to take time, but we do like that they're being implemented. And, I thought it was a really, really good speech. Obviously, again, that's just the first step. You got to actually implement all of this stuff. You got to be able to pass it through Congress. And we will see if Trump is able to do all of that. But either way, guys, that is just the start of the second Trump term. Definitely has a different feel to it. Kind of felt like Trump was just happy to be there. His first term, I think a lot of that was nobody thinking Trump could win. He ends up winning. Now he's in the spot. As opposed to this time, we all thought Trump was going to win. And we all thought he was going to win basically all the swing states. That's exactly what happened. And so now we're ready. And you can see like the stuff that Biden's doing on the way out. And we have to play this game with these liberals where they say, well, they're all innocent angels, but he had to pardon them because Trump would just put them in jail for breathing. And so we're really going to play this game because it's like, well, you can't prove that that's not what Trump was going to do. Well, yes, he said he was going to jail Hillary and then backed off because he said he wanted to move the country forward. So if anything, Trump's done the opposite of what you're saying. It's because these people are criminals and they want to pardon them to get them off because it's like a worshiping session for Fauci during the pandemic. Do you guys remember that? They love him. He's like a folk hero for them. So nothing can happen to Dr. Fauci. But let's pardon him back to 2014, pardon the entire family, pardon Hunter back to 2014 when all the corruption was happening within the family. That's when Trump went to Ukraine the first time to talk about that situation with Hunter and Joe and the big guy. But no, all of that's pardoned now. But no, they're not the corrupt ones. They're upstanding. Biden served the country for 50 years. That's what we've been hearing the past week. But then they're cowards and they do this last second to try and slide it under the rug. So understand that. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.